From the Northeast Georgia Business RadioX studio, this is Northeast Georgia Business Radio. Welcome back, folks, to another exciting edition of Northeast Georgia Business Radio. I'm your host, Tom Sheldon, and we're coming to you live from the beautiful Empower College and Career Center of Jackson County. I'm a little excited about this. I've got two guests in the studio and some really cool folks. Getting them down here on this side of town. I have with me today the Superintendent of Commerce City Schools, Mr. Billy Kirk. Billy, welcome to the Northeast studio.
Tom, thanks for having us. We're glad to be here.
It's good to have you, sir, but you brought company.
I did. Miss Lauren Milford joined our staff. She was actually an employee of Jackson County Schools, and gratefully Dr. Brown allowed us to steal her away, and she has done an amazing job for Commerce City Schools and our processes and procedures over the last 8 months.
We let her get away.
You did.
That's okay. That's okay.
Your loss is our gain.
Yeah, it is. Lauren, welcome to the Northeast studio.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and I'm excited to be a tiger.
Be a tiger. That's right. Roar or something. Well, there's Panthers in Jackson County.
There are Panthers in Jackson County, but I'm just going to be honest with you. I was a Panther from 2006 to 12 as the head football coach.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Loved every minute of it, but being a Tiger is something special.
Tell me all about Commerce City Schools. I guess technically Commerce is east of where we're at right now.
I think you're right.
85 kind of messes us up, north-south.
It does. The way that 85 runs up there. So Commerce City Schools, we are a city school. We're unique in Jackson County because we're one of 3 school systems with Jackson County as the county proper. You got Jefferson City Schools and you've got Commerce City Schools. We are the only school system in the entire state that has that has 3 school systems. So very, very unique. And as you know, Tom, we talked at our business luncheon the other day, with our East Blast vote and the referendum that came out in March. We all 3 worked together to make those things happen, to fund our school systems and to get our voters out. When we're talking about ELOST and those funds, it's very important because all 3 of us benefit greatly from that vote that happened in March.
And it did pass.
It did pass. Yay. And I'm going to be honest with you, there's colleagues of ours that theirs did not pass.
Whoa,
and so you call superintendents around the state and their referendums did not pass. And what that means for us, we're going to be able to build a new elementary school.
Awesome.
That's much needed. We're building a 76 instructional unit building, 2 gymnasiums, performing arts center. We're going to pull the 5th grade out of the middle school. I don't know if you've ever knew about that.
I've heard about that.
And so right now our 5th graders, and I've got a 5th grader, he's a middle schooler. That's one of the things that was on the top of my priority list was to get that where we have a traditional K-5, we have a traditional 6-8, and we have a traditional 9-12. And so that's one of the top things on our list to get taken care of. And our Board of Education has been very supportive of doing that work. And so with that bond being passed, we were able to realize that goal. And we actually had a meeting before I got here with our architect designing that building.
Yeah, the 5th graders don't need to be with the 8th graders.
Negative.
That is a age spread right there that, yeah.
Well, I've got a 5th grader, and I feel like he's a tall kid. He's bigger.
He takes after his dad.
Yeah. But he's going to school with kids who've already hit puberty.
Exactly.
And they're in the locker rooms, and there's just so many things that come along with that they're just not ready for. And I prefer him to be a little boy still, and right now he's jumping in with...
Yeah, don't rush it.
Exactly.
Man, don't rush it. It'll rush itself eventually.
That's exactly right.
Is it fair to say, a bit of a modernization going on?
100%.
Yeah.
One of the things that we want to make sure that we're doing is honoring the traditions of the past, but also modernizing our process and procedures at the same time. That's one of the things that we've been very focused and intentional on. And one of the reasons we brought Lauren along was to help put a fresh set of eyes on everything in our school system. I want to thank our Board of Education. They were very intentional about bringing someone to Commerce City Schools with a new vision and with a new set of eyes, not to change commerce, but to bring commerce up to 2025 standards with regards to processes and procedures and just doing different things that benefit not only our students, but our teachers.
Yeah.
And that for me is just, that's the heart of my work. I wake up every morning wanting to make a difference in kids' lives. Tom, we go to these small business luncheons and we see all the great sponsors you've got, community partners for your radio show. Every one of them chose something else that they did. I chose kids. I'm in the kid business. And I want to make it great for kids every single day that I drive to the office and make sure that it's intentional work to benefit those kids.
Well, you mentioned your teachers. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a good place to work, I don't care what business you're in, your teachers are your employees. They won't stick around.
They will not.
They'll find that door as fast as they can.
That's exactly right. And one of the things that, we brought in Lauren to help us with the HR department. And one of the things that we did, and it's not a knock on anything that happened prior, but when I applied for a job with Commerce City Schools, there were like 30 pages of handwritten applications.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I did it. I did what I was supposed to do. And everybody does do it, but there's a better way to do it.
Yeah.
And so, Lauren was able to bring in Team Taylor to bring us to an online platform where now, with a click of a button, all of our principals, all of our directors, all of our people can see the applications that people have applied for. And it's just a modernization of a process that it's not a bad way to do it. It's just a new way to do it and more streamlined. And I can't function where there's a time waster. If I can figure out a way to
efficiency,
100%.
Yeah.
And the feedback that we have received from our current employees and applicants has been phenomenal on modernizing the applicant process. And it's freed up our inbox and, just like Mr. Kirk said, made it accessible for all of our directors and principals with a click of a button. So we are really thankful to have brought in that new technology and to help keep us going towards the modernization route.
Hey, time is money, even in the school business.
Yes, it is.
It is.
And
save that time, modernize, streamline.
We only have, Tom, every school system in the state of Georgia gets 180 days. We get 180 days. Our teachers get 190. And then during that time, we've got to make every second count. And my philosophy all along my educational path is we've got 12 years, really and truly, K through 12 to affect change. The world's going to get these kids, hopefully for 80 or 90 more.
Right.
We've got to make our 12 count.
Yeah.
And we don't have time to waste.
That's true.
And that's what's so special about Commerce City Schools is we are a small, tight-knit community, and we have the support of everyone in our community. Everybody supports our schools, supports our organization, and it shows. And we can really invest in our students K-12 with all of the support that we're able to receive from our community.
The more pride you, in anything you do, especially schools, the more pride you instill in the parents, the kids, the faculty, the administration, pride is contagious. It's kind of like they say winning is contagious. Everyone's on the good side or the right side when we're winning. Mm-hmm. Man, you start building that pride, it'll take care of itself because everybody wants to be a part of it.
That's right. And that's one of the things that we've tried to do is come in and put a fresh set of eyes on it. And even with the modernization of branding, I mean, literally 35 minutes ago, we got our official branding guide that I'm presenting to the board on Thursday to make sure that our colors, our Commerce C that we're rolling out, we want our logos and our town to be recognized across the state. One of the things that I challenged all of our leaders with on day one was we want to be number one, and I don't apologize, and she's heard me say this 100 times, and so have our leaders, is I really like winning. And I want to win at our RESA, that's all the schools in our RESA. I want to win at the state level. And I want our school nationally recognized. Those are the things that we're challenging. And we're small, and I'm not going to apologize about that. We don't want to be big. And I'm proud for Dr. Brown and Jackson County with what they're doing. I was a resident of this school system for a long time, and that work is fantastic, what they're doing. It's just not for me.
Right.
What we have is 1,900 plus FTE. We've got 237 employees, and that's a perfect small town family values, the things that we can do that, quite honestly, Tom, other people cannot because we're small.
Because of the scale.
That's correct. And so when you're able to bring that type of an environment for students, for teachers, and for our community, our schools are the hub of our city. Mm-hmm. Our mayor talks about it all the time, Mayor Clark Hill. Our schools are the hub. We have a lot of industry and commerce, with the SK battery plant leading the way. But there's so much that goes on, but our school system is the hub of our city.
Definitely it is. Definitely is. And if it's a bad system, you're gonna have a bad city. And if you have a great system, boom, you're going to have a great city.
Absolutely. And right now,
That's
I think
been
what we're
proven many times.
Absolutely. And I think what we're doing right now academically, we're producing our middle school, and I can't say it enough, CCRPI, which in my opinion is voodoo math from the State Department of Education, but our middle school is number 8 in the entire state.
I didn't know that.
We're number 8 middle school.
Congratulations,
Thank
sir.
you. Number 8 in the entire state. Superintendent Woods came and recognized our middle school 3 weeks ago. We were able to put our school on that state map. Our high school, just got recognized as an AP honor school. And our elementary schools, both primary and elementary, just got recognized as a nationally Title I school of excellence.
Wow.
So great things are happening in our school system, and I can't say it enough about the smallness. When I'm able as a superintendent to go, I have a goal every day. I want to wake up and I want to try to visit the schools, visit the teachers, visit the students every day and be involved. Sometimes in a larger place, you can't do that.
Right.
I want the teachers to know who I am. I want the faculty, the students, and that is my heart for this community is I'm accessible. There's nobody everybody has my cell phone number. Every teacher, every student, every parent, people say I'm crazy for doing it. But here's the thing. They're never going to go to our Board of Education or complain that they can't get in touch with me.
Yeah.
And you can't do that in a big place.
No, you can't. There's only one of you.
And he won't brag on himself, but I will. When you have a superintendent who is playing kickball at kindergarten recess and going into classes and reading, cooking Thanksgiving turkeys for the entire district and community, and serving food in all of the cafeterias lines, it makes a huge difference. He's
That's
accessible.
impressive. He's turning a little pink over there. He's blushing over there.
Well, and he
I
wants
didn't
to
know that
do
was
all these
possible.
things.
I didn't know that was possible.
It makes a huge difference. And because we're so small, we're able to, like he said, be in all the schools, be at all of the extracurricular events, be at the sporting events, and just to show our support and dedication to our students and staff.
I got to ask, a choice on making turkeys? Did you bake, smoke?
No, sir. I
boil,
smoke.
or-
A long time ago, and I wish I would have today, but a long time ago, I started cooking, and I enjoy it. I really enjoy cooking, and it took a life of itself. So every school that I've been in my prior stops, I would do Thanksgiving meals. We brought a community Thanksgiving in, then it turned into smoking Boston butts for fundraisers.
Yeah.
And we would do hundreds of Boston butts at prior school systems. And so when I came to Commerce, as I told our board when I interviewed for this job, and one of the questions was, well, what do you do for community outreach? What do you do? And I shared it with them. I coach youth sports. I absolutely love youth sports. I coach, but I also love cooking. In fact, this Friday, I had a second grade teacher reach out to me because their students reached a goal. And I'm going to go cook hot dogs and hamburgers because one of the books that they were reading was about, a cookout. And so we're going to go cook hamburgers and hot dogs for these kids and these teachers. And that's where you can really build that culture is by doing things for kids.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's about the kids and it's about the teachers. And there's not an ask. And I told our people when I took the job, Tom, I said, there is no or yes. There may be a hold on a minute.
Sure.
But we're going to figure out how to get you what you need.
We'll get there.
That's right.
We'll get there. Yeah. I got to brag on you. I recently took a tour of Commerce High.
Did you?
I did. Now, the media center, can you even call it that? It's not a library.
You
really.
can't call that anymore. But I'm going to tell you this, Tom. I appreciate you saying that because when we took the job, and I say we took the job because it's not a me job. It's a we job. I have a team of people that are with me, that we all committed, and most of them, and I'm going to tell you this, I didn't bring anybody with me. I didn't know Lauren before I hired her, didn't know anything about her.
Right.
I got great references, but we've built a team, and one of the things that we wanted to do was modernize that media space. It was probably the same media space that you and I had when we were in high school before. Right. And then, but the goal was to make that space Starbucks, Apple Store, and all that in one and combine it. You have the books and the technology. You put all that together. It is the most used space in that high school today.
As it should be. But it wasn't before.
It was not.
Right.
Last year, and Dr. Tolbert, and I appreciate her saying this to me, her daughter, Ivy, who I know, but I don't know her. I met her when I took the job. She said, Billy, Ivy may have gone in the media center 3 times in her entire high school career. This is our star student, our valedictorian, who never just stepped foot in there because I don't think it was something that was attractive to her. How about that?
Yeah.
And I think if we can get kids in and we can bring them to the table, and we've created the collaborative spaces. Everything in there is movable. So it may look different tomorrow than it did today. And we're actually, Tom, we're going to be doing this at our middle school this summer.
Nice.
It's a phased-in project to be able to because we want the same thing for our middle school kids.
Absolutely.
And then when we build our elementary school, it's already going to be built in for those kids. So we're really taking a high school, middle school, elementary approach to just modernizing those spaces for kids.
Do you see a lot, and this isn't fair because you've been superintendent just over a year now.
Yes.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. Do you see kids coming into the elementary schools and they graduate 10, 12 years later? They stay in the system? Mm-hmm. Do you see a lot of that?
We do, and that's
good.
That's the neat thing about commerce is we were having conversations this week about the fact that, and you mentioned traditions and you mentioned the families and the community. One of the things we've seen is people want their kids to come to commerce, and it's not a knock on anybody else. I'm not knocking another school system, but when you offer what we can offer, when you have that small town, when you have a student to teacher ratio that's so small that the teacher knows who you are, the teacher knows who your family is, the teacher knows I can pick up the phone and call if there's an issue, parents want that.
Oh, yeah.
And so we are seeing kids that K-12 do that.
At least the good ones do.
That's right.
And even more so, those kids are graduating and coming back and want to work in commerce.
That was going to be my next where we're going. You are seeing that?
Absolutely.
Good.
And I would say a good portion of our current staff are former graduates of commerce.
Really?
So people,
Nice.
they start at commerce in kindergarten, they graduate, and they want to come back and they stay.
It's been something for our people that we're able to offer that piece for our community because the teachers that are teaching them went to commerce. The people who came before me, we just hired a commerce graduate. You know, he's going to go before the board to come in and be a part of what we're doing, who want to contribute to the success in a classroom, want to contribute to the success with extracurricular activities. That being able to exemplify that to students and for parents, you can quantify a number and say, this is how many teachers we have who went to commerce. This is how many people who've been in that system and never left. Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
You know, and that's one thing I love about our city.
It speaks a lot to the community.
Yes.
It's back to that tiger pride, like you said earlier.
Yeah,
You know, I'm going to give you a funny story if I can, Tom.
Oh, please. We love stories.
So
we live for them. Are you kidding?
So, you know, when you go to commerce now, we're building a field house. It was something that was needed. It's a very needed facility for our athletes, boys and girls. We're going to train kids. We've already hired a full-time strength and conditioning coach to coach all sports, and he's going to train them all year round.
Nice.
My point is we had to find the location to build our new field house. Well, the perfect location was at the other end of the football field. It's just everything was there to be able to do it. Well, in order to do that, I had to do something that was taboo in Tigerland. I had to move the tiger eyes. Oh, yeah.
Was that when the earth just, for a moment, just kind of shook?
So I felt like that for about a month there, I was Satan reincarnated.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get a chance to move it yet. So it was down for about a month. But I made a commitment to our Board of Education and really the community that all we're doing is temporarily moving it to the other side. And then when we get the new building built, I've already contracted with a company to put a modernized tiger eyes. It's the same tiger, but it's LED lights. It's going to be on the building.
Oh, wow.
So actually we're going to have 2 tiger eyes.
Yeah, you are.
What I'm trying to do is make sure that I honor that tradition.
Yeah.
You know, because that tradition is important when the games are played, when the soccer game is played, tiger eyes are up. A graduation, tiger eyes will be up. You know, we put a video board up, brand new scoreboard, and that's one of the things that we're able to show. You know, if you go on YouTube right now and Google or search, tradition and commerce, there's clips that come up from state championships past.
Yeah.
We played those on that video board, and once again, we got a little bit of pushback. It's like, oh my God. But then when they saw it and they saw what it's about, I think everybody's jumped on board because it's been a needed opportunity for the, you know, nobody likes that change word.
Worst word in the dictionary.
It is. The beautiful thing that's happened is they've seen the work, they've seen the effort, and they know that it's for kids. There's no selfish ambition on Billy's part that it has to be done this way. I want to do stuff that kids need, that kids want for them to be successful.
I love it. All right, here come the hard questions.
Yeah, let's go.
We talked about all the awards, and congratulations on all that.
Yeah.
You're going to have to build like a mini field house just for all the awards. I don't know.
I'm going to task Lauren with that.
We'll be glad to do that.
That'd be Lauren's fault. Yeah, make a big penthouse on top of it. No, I'm going to get y'all run out of town. Jackson County is the 4th fastest growing county
It
in
is.
the United States, behind 3 border towns. If you follow the news, you know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep something small? Do you want to keep something small? I think I know the answer to that, but I mean, do you have a plan for that?
We do. And so here's the beautiful thing that we have. And as the school superintendent in commerce, I have a great relationship with our mayor, Mayor Clark Hill, and meeting with our city council and city manager. We've all come to the conclusion, along with our Board of Education, that we as a system can work together to keep commerce the way that people from the past would want it to be. That small town feel. Am I going to keep it at 1,900? I'm going to be honest with you, Tom. That's going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this. The goal is to keep it small. The goal is to keep it, we're a single A school. We play single A, Division I single A. We have 540 kids in our high school.
Right.
And so we want to keep that small town family feel. We want to keep that, on a Friday night, the town rolls up to come to a football game, or a Tuesday or Friday night, everybody comes to a basketball game, or you go to a baseball game now. I believe that's the magic of commerce. And I think when you have to be intentional. I was here maybe 2 months, had a meeting with the mayor, the city manager, and the city council about some homes being built, White School Church Road. I'm sure you've read about it in the paper. And so to me, it's one word. It's intentionally controlling the growth to maximize what we do have. And I think that's the key to the whole thing. Are we going to stop growth? No, sir. Not happening.
No.
With our city limits, what we have city limit proper, I think we can control the rooftops, because we're ultimately, and I'm sure you've seen Coach Ray Lamb told me 2 weeks after I took the job, I met with him, and he said, Billy, let me explain something about commerce. It is a private public school. No wiser words have been stated, because when you get in and you see the great academics, it's on the academic level of a private school. The great athletics, same exact thing. The culture, same exact thing that you want to maintain and keep and then make it better. But we have out-of-district students too. So the kids come from out of district. Well, here's the thing. We hold them to a standard. So there's a standard of excellence with regards to academics. There's a standard of excellence with regards to behavior and attendance. And there's a standard of excellence with regards to what are you doing extra to help us achieve excellence in another area. And that could be a sport. It could be band, it could be drama, it could be one-act play. Doesn't really matter. What are you doing to contribute to the success of our organization? And if all 3 of those questions are asked, then those out-of-district students, I'll use the word, are allowed to stay.
Yeah.
But if they drop academically, if there's a behavior issue, if there's an attendance issue, I'm just going to be very candid. They're no longer students of commerce, and they go back to their home school.
Well, it's somewhat of a privilege, is it not?
1,000%.
To be there.
It is a privilege, not a right. That is correct.
Yeah.
And
hold them accountable.
And our board wants us to hold them accountable.
I agree with them.
Jackson County, you're exactly right. 4th largest growing system county in probably the country.
Yeah.
You can't do the things that we do every day in a big system like that.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you this, and this is where the rubber meets the road. We had maybe 15 job openings. People don't want to leave, right? And people left because they retired, or they moved, or they're going to get another degree somewhere else and wanted to focus on their education. So I think we're about 15, 16 openings. We probably had 20 plus applications for every job.
For each one.
And here's the key to that. They're leaving big systems, and the feedback we're getting is, we want to come to small.
Yeah.
And so it's the teachers, it's the district leaders, it's those people that make the magic happen, want what we have. So you said it correctly, Tom. It is a privilege.
Well, I got to ask, what is the mission? What is the vision, other than staying small, I guess?
Well, I'm grateful for you asking that question.
I mean, you got enough on your plate. Let's put some more on it.
That's right. The mission of Commerce City Schools is to expect excellence in everything we do from graduation and beyond. So if you think about what I just said, expecting excellence, that means we want the cleanest facility.
I like that.
We want the best kept grounds.
Yeah.
We want our floors to be cleaner than everybody else's. When people come in and use the restroom, I know that's something small. I don't want handprints on the windows. I've told our custodial company, I said, if I walk in and I see handprints on the company, you're probably going to hear from me to figure out why those did. Because I believe when our teachers get out of their car, they walk into the cleanest facility. Our students come into the cleanest facilities, the best facilities, and we're going to give them excellence in everything that we do. And that's the mission of what we're trying to do. And then you get to our vision, and it's love, safe, care, and educate. We're going to love kids. We're going to care about what happens to them every single day. We're going to keep them safe. Number one thing on that was safety. We want to make sure our students are safe. If none of those other three things happen, the education can't happen the way that we want it to at a high level. And so if you walk through Commerce High School, if you said you came there the other day, every single banner that goes through there, everybody expect excellence. Because that's the expectation from the superintendent. It's the expectation of our Board of Education, and it's the expectation of every employee that we're going to expect excellence from all of our students. If we raise the standard, kids will meet it, teachers will meet it, employees will meet it.
They'll get used to it.
Absolutely, and they are. When you get teachers calling you because kids read 1 million words, that's excellence. When you have teachers and administrators call about the things they're doing that exemplify what we're trying to do, it says enough to me that we're doing the right work. And as long as we're doing the right work, it goes back to what we talked about. We just got awarded. I'm a brand new superintendent. I've been there a year, literally a year. Mm-hmm. And our school system was just awarded a top workplace to work in 2025, that says a lot about the culture that we're trying to build in Commerce City Schools. And I don't do that. It's not an I, it's a we.
Right.
The team that we have, everybody from when they walk in the door, and I'm going to say we're going to be the Chick-fil-A of education.
Nice.
How can we help you? How can we serve our customers? Our customers are our students. Our customers are our parents. Really, our customers are our teachers.
Yeah.
How can we serve them? And one of the ways that we do that as a district staff, because we're no better than anybody else. We're all teachers. We're all former teachers. So if there's a sub shortage, guess who goes and covers the sub shortage? My employees at the district office. I'm no better than anybody else. If I need to go change a toilet tissue roll, guess what? It gets changed.
It gets changed.
You know why?
It
Because
needs to be done.
because at the end of the day, the job is about serving people.
Yeah.
And if you can serve the people, they know, and they're going to give that little bit of extra effort.
Oh, yeah. But now the awards, the recent accolades, but now this, what you're about to say, I know what you're about to say. This isn't just given away freely.
No, these awards were based on an anonymous survey that our staff took. Once the results were collected, they were compared to other organizations of our size, and we were recently awarded a 2025 Spring Culture Excellence Top Workplace winner and a Leadership Top Workplace and a Purpose and Values Top Workplace. And this just goes back to our culture and climate that we have at Commerce City Schools. And like Mr. Kirk said, we expect excellence in all areas. Our teachers and staff, they thrive on this because we're so small and we're able to give them so much support and encouragement. The culture and climate thrives, and that's something that we are very proud of and that we want to continue to build.
Congratulations on all that.
Well, thank you.
Nicely done.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. We don't get in education a lot of this kind of feedback is invaluable to me because what it does is it truly points to the work. Mm-hmm. And the work is, as a school superintendent, there's not a school superintendent that would, I'll be the first one to tell you, and Philip Brown may beat me up and Donna McMullen may beat me up for saying this, but if I'm not there tomorrow and I drop dead of a heart attack, the school system's going to run. You hope that the work you put in to build that culture, that somebody else is going to come in behind you and be able to keep the work going.
Yeah.
And that's where the magic to me of getting these accolades, it's not a me accolade, it's our system is thriving. That's one of the things that I can't stress enough is what we're trying to do is not change commerce. What we're trying to do is make commerce better. There's a book Jim Collins wrote, Good to Great. Mm-hmm. And commerce was good. And don't get me, they're good at everything. My goal and my challenge is to make them great every day.
Yeah.
In everything.
Nicely done. Well, Billy, Lauren, if we got it all in, we got a lot in. We covered a lot of ground.
We did.
That was good. I liked it. Hey, I like when I don't have to talk. So when y'all coming back? I got a spot next week.
We're coming back. We have so many good things to share.
You've got like a big announcement you're going to have to make eventually.
She is.
Eventually.
Well, I am, but yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Well, folks, if that's it, they're going to play music. I got to wrap up, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Website, school system website, more information?
Absolutely. You can visit us at commercecityschools.org. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Commerce Schools, and you can keep up with all of the amazing things that we are doing in our school system.
Billy, Lauren, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us, Tom.
Thanks so much.
Nice job. Nice job. Hey, folks, check out what they're doing up there in the city of Commerce. Got a great school system, and they're making it better. Build that community. I'm Tom Sheldon. We'll talk to you soon.